cherry picking. Doesn't make them less. No, it doesn't. They're using their intellectual capabilities to see what they feel is right for them, and you know, you don't have to follow every facet of the religion you're in to the letter by every single thing. That's obsessive behaviour, compulsive.
Who says that?
Well, it can, you know, and who says that if you don't do that, you're also wrong? Look, what
the
you
rules
want,
of the religion.
what you want to do is right. What Chris wants to do is right. What I want to do is right. But you don't think that. You think the only true way is your way, quoting these things from your religion, and that's what's sad, because somebody else's way is no less valid than yours.
Who says?
I say.
Oh, sorry. So you're the Messiah.
No, I'm just a human being with an opinion, and I respect...
Which is fine, you can have an opinion.
No,
it may be wrong, but you can have it.
Well, it's not wrong, it's my opinion, therefore to me it's valid, therefore it's right. Your opinion is valid and right to you. Just because you believe that doesn't mean that everybody else is wrong, David, which you're always telling people. And I'm always, sorry Chris, I'm really suspicious sometimes when you say that apropos of religion, if you're just being pompous and winding up, or if you really, really believe it. Because if you really, really believe it, I'm quite truly shocked after knowing you for about 28 years, because I think it's just banal.
What's
I can't
banal?
believe that you're that bright, that you actually believe that and say that. That other people are wrong to cherry pick, as you call it, which Chris has called using reasoning, that other people follow the parts of the religion, of their religion that they choose to, and that doesn't make them less religious person than you, but you think it does. You think without all the trappings, that makes them less religious.
I haven't said that at all.
Yes, you do, all the time. What do you think, Chris?
Well, my reason tells me, and indeed science, that the world was not created in 7 days.
I agree with that.
And that the creationists are wrong, and they are, if you like, fundamentalist Christians.
I agree with you, Chris.
And I think they're dangerous, and I think they're powerful in the US, and I think that's dangerous. And I think it's one of the causes of the fundamentalism that is reciprocated both within some sects within the Jewish faith and within some sects within the Muslim faith.
Absolutely.
And I think particularly with Islam, which you know, flowered in the early Middle Ages as the place where mathematics and medicine really, you know, was moved on from what the Greeks had done, and was incredibly important. But in many cases, it got stuck in a Middle Age mentality, which in the 20th century suddenly they were confronted by the modern world and have yet to come to terms with the modern world and how you use your religion and use it sensibly and for the benefit of all, and indeed for the worship of God in the modern age. I think that's one of the main problems. I think the Jewish religion, probably because it was more overtly, perhaps going to sound a little bit racist, but because it was more involved with Europeanism in the 18th, 19th, 20th century, moved on, and you have the Reformed Church, Reformed Jewish religion, and you have different strands, but you also have the Orthodox Jews who believe sincerely in what they hold to be right, but for instance in their views about the divorce of women, I would hold that they are wrong. And I wouldn't say because that's not because I have a Jewish faith, it's because I believe that their interpretation, as I see it, is not correct, but I don't profess to be an expert in Judaism. I will confess to having some fairly detailed inside knowledge, if you like, about the politics and the thought and the discussions that go on within the Christian church. That's what I would say.
Well, I think a lot of the things, for example, that the Orthodox Jews believe in, I mean, you know, for example, by the study of the Torah, the Talmud, the way they live in Israel is it makes no sense. You know, they're in a clothing that comes from Russia in the last century, that you're wearing in heat, great big felt hats and great big long black coats in 30 degrees. They're antisocial, they have nothing to do with not only women, anybody. They spit on people. You know, they're absolutely inclusive, and I just find it obscene. Likewise, I find the interpretation of what I know, and I've had a discussion with a couple of Muslim people who, you know, say they feel love to other religions, of the extremists in the Muslim faith who, you know, full of hatred, interpret the Quran the way they want to, for the purpose of hatred. Likewise, I think somebody who's saying Christianity just has to be one way is a bit too rigid and fascistic. I mean, I just think it's sad. I think it's just far too right-wing.
Belief. You can't change my belief.
No, but
I believe something is right, therefore it is, to me.
Well, that's the first time you've said to you, it's right to you, but it doesn't mean, you know, the conversations, there would never be an argument that you and I or other people have had over the years with you if you just say, this is what I believe, but you basically say, there's one true way, and everyone, how many years did you text me and say you'll go to hell? You don't follow a true faith. You won't ever go to heaven.
I've never said that to you.
Oh, David, now don't, you know, your nose will start growing really long.
I think David has been known to be provocative in his statements in order to get a jolly good discussion going. I think even David would admit that.
Well, David knows he said that to me.
Well,
It might have been slightly tongue-in-cheek on the text, but one has to remember that the written word, you know, has to be interpreted.
I don't
as the
really
written
care
word.
about the Jews, to be honest. I mean, they can do whatever they like. If they believe and they think they're going to go, fine. I don't. My belief tells me that they won't, but it's up to them. It's not a fascistic thing. It's just purely down to belief.
Oh.
My belief also tells me that I won't either. But then God loves a sinner.
Yes, but I don't even see that God, in whichever religion, judges people the way you believe. This kind of harshness that you think that there is a God who wouldn't love somebody and you've just called yourself a sinner. That's also sad. I mean, you are the person you are.
We all sin.
Pardon?
We're all sinners. You're telling me you're perfect? Is that what you're trying to say?
Of course not. But I thought, well, I didn't know to what extent you were calling yourself a sinner.
I sin every minute of the day.
Pardon?
I sin every minute of the day.
Well, I just call that being human, David. I don't put it into those terms.
That's offending against God.
Well, I don't put it in those terms. I'm a sinner, you know, I've sinned against God. I don't think about it like that. You're obviously totally entitled to, and that's what you believe. But of course we all sin, and of course
Forgive
we all
us
do
our
bad
trespasses
things.
as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Yes.
The most sacred part of the Mass is at the elevation of the host, when we all say, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldst come under my roof, but speak the word only, and I shall be healed. That is the essence of our religion. And if people sit there thinking that they have a right to receive, then they're not going to receive in the right way. Because we are all sinners. We all do bad things. We all think bad thoughts.
who was the actress? Coral Brown,
Mm-hmm.
who used to go to church in Knightsbridge somewhere. I can't think where.
Probably St. Paul's.
Probably. Anyway, she came out of
An Englishman abroad.
that's right. She was, but I mean, she was a famous actress. She was
Wonderful in that. No, she was wonderful in that.
She came out of Mass, and you'll call it Mass. Others call it Eucharist. Others call it Communion.